Hey man, welcome to a new Waterwave TV interview. We got one big special guest in the building, Sammy Adams.
What's up with it?
Man, a fucking legend.
You already know. It's about time, huh?
It's fucking crazy. I know.
Yeah.
We, got introduced to you like 4 years ago, sent you the Waterwave hoodie. You're showing
yes,
love.
Sir.
You still have the hoodie sitting around?
Yeah, bro. I got the hoodie. I got the tees.
Okay.
You already know.
I mean, well, welcome to Minnesota. I know you're not what's called a stranger to Minnesota.
Nah,
I
love Minnie, bro. Like, I mean, it's crazy. We played places closer to like, you know, North Dakota, like the Mankato joints we were doing with like Nelly and T.I. and shit.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we've been rocking around here for a minute. Like
first did shows in Mankato?
Yeah, like just like one summer we were kind of mobbing everywhere. All good. It was like me, Wiz, Nelly, couple Snoop joints, but then, you know, like Mill City Nights, I don't even know if that shit's still open. Yeah. And First Avenue, it's a great vibe around here. Like we always love coming and chopping it up. You know what I mean?
So it's cool. I went to high school in Mankato.
Oh, word!
So it's cool that you were out there. But you're from like the Boston area, right? Massachusetts guy.
Born and raised.
What's it like growing up out there?
I was gonna say cold. It probably ain't as cold as here.
Probably not.
But yeah, it's ill. Like there was like always a kind of underground scene for hip hop. I kind of skipped the line on that because like we just built a buzz like going crazy. Like when I dropped out of college, we were hitting like probably 190, 200 shows a year.
Wow.
So we were just busy. And like that was kind of before the paper came in.
Yeah.
And we were just chasing like college money, anyone that had a basement, anyone that had a PA system. But we built it from the ground up, and like, you know, that's how.
So
like,
were you like throwing a lot of parties, like just making money off the door, or were you getting booked? Or
like, I mean, it was weird because like we do a lot of the bookings and shit through just like the homies. Like we didn't really have a tour manager. And then like once it started to go a little more corporate, we were getting mad bookings.
Yeah.
But we still would just throw like afters, you know, DJ a set if it wasn't something serious, like, you know, catch a couple bands, just do whatever. But then it turned into just like full onslaught touring for the last like 15. So
yeah, no, you started, I feel like I was doing a little bit of research because I knew you were coming to town, but I read that. Did you start recording in the dorms, or was that just, so you started?
I mean, even like probably even before the college dorms, it was like, you know, like high school.
Yeah.
We were just like cutting freestyles and, you know, just inner city kids fucking around.
Yeah.
And we kind of, it was like before all this like, you know, copyright infringement shit. So you could just load up a Wayne beat, load up any type of beat and go in on it on YouTube, and no one was gonna say shit.
Yeah.
And now you gotta be like on your P's and Q's if you're about to drop that. You gotta let the whole team know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're definitely like an OG and like where this rap game has now been taken.
Oh yeah, it's a different game now too. Yeah. Like it's so much more like we thought it was oversaturated back in the day.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I mean, it's like people are blowing up off of 15-second clips.
Yeah.
Like that's just wild.
So let's talk. One song that I'd say obviously is your biggest hit is "All Night Longer."
Yes, sir.
And it's still being played to this day. I know how you first heard of our page as at Gopher football game. They were
bro.
They were turning up in the middle of the street.
That video is crazy.
They were turning up to your song all night long.
I still get tagged on that too. Like people be like, "Yo," because we played Minnesota probably like 7 years ago, and that shit was bananas.
Yeah.
Like the whole parking lot was lit the fuck up.
Yeah, because that song specifically, and some of your other music too, but that song specifically caters to that college party audience so well. When that song came out, how long did it take for it to really hit, like, and start getting that traction?
It took a little while. Like I would say, like back then, you know, the like mainstream. I was with RCA at the time, so like Sony had a shit ton of money kind of coming in and out of advertising, marketing, and it helped to be on tour because like we didn't know if this was going to be a song you play like first half of the set, and then you start to like blend it in, and then it just became one of the joints like you play it at the end and blow the fucking roof off the place.
Yeah.
Like multiple times, people are like, "Yo, we'll pay you extra to play that shit multiple times."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm cool with it, but like that initial moment ain't gonna get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I still like that when that song comes on, especially around the U of M. Like I don't go out to as much anymore, but when I would go out, the whole bar is singing it.
Oh yeah,
and it's like a timeless song.
I mean, that was the crazy part. Is it probably took about 6 months, and then we went from playing it to like everyone like knowing every single word. Like you could be faded on stage and forget all the words and look at all the fans and like in Vegas, yeah, I drink it all on the lips. Like that shit was crazy.
Yeah, because I know there was like, I remember like when you first posted a video or picture wearing our stuff, I was like telling people like Sammy Adams rocking our shit, and they're like the name sounds familiar. Where do I get it from? I play them all night longer, and they're like, oh, that guy.
And that's like one of the coolest parts is like we kind of kept that like grassroots movement going, and it's like
you're catching all different generations. That song came out in 2012.
Yeah,
and there's still high school kids that are born in 2000. Or even college kids that are born in 2005 now.
Yeah,
18-year-olds.
I mean,
they're still hearing that in the club.
Well, what's crazy too is like we call it like instead of the trickle down effect, we call it the hand-me-down effect, where it's like someone's brother could be in college or in high school, and like I always looked up to my older brother and like my boys that were older than me. So it's like when it trickles down through like, you know, the homies playlist into yours, it's just like mad natural, and like. That's why it stayed around for so long, and it's like been a staple that we can play, but it's also ill to like be able to hold the show and everything else, and all the vibes kind of blend in and out.
Yeah. Shortly after that, you linked up with Mike Posner and made another hit song.
Yes, sir.
How did that collab come about?
Me and Mike did a bunch of shows together, like me, him, Cuddy, Sean, kind of same circuit, same time. They were definitely like peak popping. I think Cuddy was opening for Ye on a bunch of shows, but like that, it came together pretty natural. Like we always fucked with each other. We were in LA and just cooked that one up like from scratch, like off the rip.
It ended up being another one of your big songs.
Yeah,
it still rings to this day. Plays
absolutely.
There's like that era. It was like you, Hoodie Allen, Asher Roth.
Yes, sir.
Like me, I was young as hell, and like those you three guys were like on my playlist. Like it was just like someone I could reminisce with at the time, I guess you could say.
Hell yeah.
But you actually remixed Asher Roth's "I Love College."
Yeah.
And did "I Hate College."
Yes, sir.
Where was the inspiration, or what made you feel like wanting to do that?
It was like I loved the beat because at the time there was a lot of, you know, shit coming out, whether it was trap or like 808 heavy rap. And that joint, when I heard it, I was just like always freestyling to it, always hitting licks on it late night. So I was like, let's give them the real lowdown of how the boys get down in college.
I'd listen to that on the bus on the way to my 7th grade baseball game.
Yes, sir.
It's like crazy how much that's time, you know. Here we are now, sitting right here.
But, you know.
One thing that halted your career a little bit, you had a really bad accident.
Yes, sir.
Where you, almost could have lost your life, but also you weren't supposed to walk ever again.
Yeah.
Right? Where was your mindset, your mental at, like those few years where you were kind of dealing with that, you know?
It was crazy. It was weirdly like when you get in one of these situations where you're like rattled by like doctors go crazy with explaining how intricate all this stuff is. I got super lucky. Like I think it was like 1 in 100,000 ever walks again. So like I was definitely fucked up for a little while. But like I also stopped like. Right as I got my neck surgery done, I stopped taking like Dilaudid, stopped taking perks, and was just like, I'm gonna have to rock this out. Because it's like, you know, even being in an accident, it's like, I ain't gonna turn into like the plizzy that some of the homies did just from like, I hate opioids. So it's like, I just gotta axe this. And it's like, that helped me kind of fight the pain because it's like a lot of it was like, how do we get here? Damn, this is crazy. The realization of like the fact that you got that lucky, but like it really kind of like came into fruition of being like, let's make this an absolute win going forward instead of like letting it hinder all the success we've had in the past. So it was like it was difficult being like laid up in a bed 6 months when all you want to do is be in the studio. But we just built the studio around like my bedroom, so I never felt like I was that far like stretched away from like music or anything.
You just couldn't physically be out there and like
like I couldn't really rock.
You couldn't do 200 shows a year.
Yeah, couldn't rock the shows as much as I could like the previous 10 years. But it was a nice wake up call, to be honest. Like the boys were going very hard on tour, and it's like I'm just glad it happened the way it did, because it could have been way worse.
What's some of your favorite memories? You've had a very, very good career, and it's still going. But what is some of your favorite memories so far?
Probably playing like MSG, The Garden, flying abroad to do shows, like writing shit that was kind of out of pocket for me, like writing music for Enrique Iglesias and like other people, where I never thought that would ever kind of come into existence, because for me,
Sammy Adams in this bitch. Hello. What is this?
yeah.
Woo. There y'all.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like there's so many different joints. Like I love playing festivals. I love playing solo shows. But like once you kind of break into a new mold, like it's funny when I go around like Boston and New York, and people are like, "Are you still like making music?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just mostly behind the scenes now."
Yeah.
But like it's like I'm not ready to put out the new shit until everything's kind of tucked in and Gucci on my end.
Yeah, I was gonna ask kind of like what your main focus is, kind of like right now in your career, because I know you're not releasing like a crazy amount. You haven't released a lot, like since like 2020. You dropped a project, right? It was On My Own.
Yeah.
And then a few other releases since then and whatnot, but you're not necessarily ground pounding your music into the fans.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and like that'll change, because like you kind of get, it's like being on tour and missing the studio, or being in the studio and missing tour. It's like once you stop kind of flooding the market, you want to get back into flooding the market. And like there's an amazing like little dichotomy going on right now, where it's like you don't have to put everything on Spotify or any of the DSPs. Like I worked at Apple Music for 4 years. I was curating playlists and like just doing a bunch of like different hosting shit. It was cool, but I don't see myself doing some shit like that. Like talking about other people's music is not for me. I'd rather make it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hey, one last thing. What's some advice you'd give to an artist that's just starting out and is just kind of looking for some guidance?
I would say like for me, it's all about like what your personal like attachment to your music is. Like there's so many people that have, they pay attention too much to the comments, or they go live every day, all that shit. And that's cool, like, because it's great to get feedback from your fans and from people that don't know you. But at the same time, it's easy to let that hinder like your creativity. And if you get too many like, oh, nah, this ain't it, and you really feeling that, stick on that track. Like whatever you feel the most, it's gonna open more people up to you. Because in my opinion, like you're not ever gonna want to play all your records if those records aren't like, damn, this is my fucking favorite shit. You know what I mean? So just like kind of nose on the street, ear to the street, ground and pound, like you said. Just like if you think 50 records is enough, make fucking 200.
Tell people that all the time, but thanks for your time, man.
You already know.
Enjoy the Timberwolves game. Sammy Adams, Waterwave TV. Man, it's a good one. Let's go for the history books.
Finally, bro. Let's go.
Moderation. Let's go.
My guy, appreciate you.
Could you take some